Hello, hello, Josh Thomas, mortgage broker, coming at you again. And I just have, I guess, a bit of darker, a little more stressful conversation or article that I'm going to share with you today. It is going to be talking about the foreclosures and that kind of stuff that's on people's minds. So, as you know, in March of 2020, the pandemic kind of hit its climax there. Well, it's not true. Anyway, it became an issue, right? And in April, the federal government made sure that everybody knew they didn't have to make monthly payments, and that made a lot of people think that we were going to run into a foreclosure crunch and all that kind of stuff. Well, most of the purpose of this video today is not to talk about all of that, but more information for homeowners that are out there. And so, hoping that this video will get shared with who it needs to. But will there be a glut of foreclosures coming to market? Most likely not. To date, there's 2.8 million people that are currently in forbearance. Of course, that's not 2.8 million people more than normal. That's just 2.8 total, meaning that there's always somebody that's having a hard time making their payments and goes into forbearance and stuff. But based on current guidelines and rules and stuff like that, there's basically three options, right? So you go into forbearance, and you can and so that's kind of what this article is going through, is the kind of the three levels. If you skip a payment, initially you'd skip a payment or up to 3 payments, but then you'd have to repay those back. And then luckily the government and the lenders kind of work together to basically mitigate that so that you could defer it to the end of your loan. Basically just add it to the loan balance and then pay your current payment, not the back payments, just the current one, and you'd be good to go. And that's the most friendly rules we've ever seen. In 17 years, I've never seen anything like this. So it's super friendly, and I can do a loan for you as soon as 3 months after you do that. And so it hasn't had a huge negative impact like they usually have in the past. You can, of course, do a regular modification as well, which is very similar to the same thing, but they can actually come up with lower monthly payments and stuff like that. In that regard, that's the same as what a modification's been for 10 years. But this one is not changing your payment or rate or anything. It's just simply taking 3 payments or so and putting them on the end of your loan. But of course, then if you're in that, you have to wait at least 3 months after you started making payments before I can give you a refinance. But why did I want to talk about this article? It's mainly for what happens next. And so if you don't qualify, you call up the service and you're like, hey, I need to go into forbearance. I can't, my job's been negatively impacted or something. You just can't afford those payments. It's important to recognize, that you should, if you can't afford your payments and you're about to lose your house, by all means, call your servicer and try to work with them. They don't want you to not make your monthly payments, and they don't want to foreclose on your house either. So just talk with them. They'll come up with something. But if you don't qualify for anything and they're just telling you tough luck, then you can go ahead and sell your house. And if you need a referral to a great agent for that, let me know. That's, of course, if I'm talking to the consumer, I'm forwarding this message on to a bunch of my agents. And so if one of them forwarded it to you, then by all means, contact them. They can help you sell the house. Refer to earlier videos as to why you should sell a house with an agent involved, especially if it's because of distress. But if you cannot sell your house, if you cannot get into a deferred payment program and kind of rescue your financial situation, selling your house is the next best option. Letting your house go to foreclosure is full insanity right now. There's just almost, it's something like 95% of the homeowners in America right now, or 90%, have a massive amount of equity, 50% equity. So don't let your house go to foreclosure if you have a bunch of equity. So anyway, and then last but not least, this is really, really important, this last piece. I want to make sure everybody catches this. If you're having any troubles whatsoever at all talking with your mortgage bank, and it's just because they're some big giant behemoth and they don't care about you, but you need something and you can't get them to respond, especially if they've made a mistake and they're not fixing it, contact the CFPB. CFPB stands for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It's an entity that was created 10 years ago, and if you want to see something funny, contact the CFPB and watch your bank squirm. It is amazing the clout that the CFPB has And if you still have further issues, by all means, let me know, and I'll guide you through a few other steps that you can take, such as reaching out to Congress. You might be surprised what that does if you contact your congressman. Anyway, hopefully that information is helpful. If anybody's out there struggling, hopefully this information will give you some peace and some solutions. And if you know anybody else that needs it, please forward this on to them. Not everything is always sunshine and rainbows. We get that. Everybody goes through dark times. Hopefully these solutions can help you out. And I hope you have a great day. We'll catch you next time. Especially if I can throw up my closing screen here so that I'm compliant. There we go. All right. You have a great rest of a great new year, I guess, as you get into the end of January here.